Welcome back. Welcome back to What's the Juice? That's the Juicy Tea, 1111 Energy. I hope that you are well and rested, and so are your families, okay? Thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes. Thank you for all the positive energy, the positive comments, the uplifting energy that you bring to the space. I am truly grateful, okay? However you see fit to tapping in. Okay, however you see fit to sow positivity into the channel, I am grateful. Into the space, I am grateful. Into the community, I am grateful. Okay. Definitely, y'all. Okay, so listen, I am picking up on energies, right? Okay, this is like a definitely spiritual warfare right now. There's all kind of warfare going on right now, okay? But it's really trying to attack spiritual communities because I feel like, religion at this point in time feels like, hey, they're the ones that should, but it's like, well, wait a minute, you can do you. We don't have a problem with that, but don't try to control us and do us. Don't we're doing us, you do you type energy, right? And it has everything to do with something time. But before we dive in too far, let's go on and first off, let you know this may not be your energy, may not be your message, but it is definitely somebody's message throughout the 3D matrix and the universal realms to include the multiverse. Okay, I call upon the divine light to surround me, and I invite my ancestors, guides, and protectors to stand with me. No lower energy may enter this space. Only what serves truth, healing, and highest good is welcomed here. And so it is. Ashe. Okay, family. So that's the energy. Okay, I'm also picking up on energies that, they are like, I don't know who and why and what, but they tend to kind of always want to come with some sort of negativity towards you. Okay, this is over with. This is time is up. It feels to me like, there is somebody here that cherishes you. Okay, and there is it's like a contractual spirit. Okay, and that's exactly what it says, a contractual spirit. Memories here. Okay, there's something about you, this connection, and it was positive. They know about the dark side of things, the shadow side, the underworld. Okay, you too know about the shadow side and the underworld, but you chose the light, and that's what's pissing these energies off, because they're like, if you were gonna be something, okay, they're also pissed off because you choose them the light, your truth's being spoken. It uncovered who they really were. And how dare they be mad that they're sitting around here, affecting people's lives in a negative way, and it was about time that was put to an end type energy. Like, damn, you greedy, that greedy type energy. Okay, I feel like, with this contractual spirit. Okay, there's a couple of energies I'm picking up. Okay, I'm picking up, first of all, the one energy that feels like they feel they're owed, and how dare they, type energy. I'm just saying. I feel they have a lot of nerves to even feel like they're owed for all that they have done. This is one energy. Okay, the other energy I'm feeling is like, the other energy I'm feeling is like, they are waiting for something that is more refreshing, but they know that there is something that they have to finish, or they have to, in order for them to be able to move on and feel, safe or something like that. They've got to, finish out some agreement, some sort of contract here. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like somebody wants to move towards you because they cherish you. But I also feel like there's a contract that needs to be resolved or finished or something like that, because it feels to me like, you're going to be able to know the difference between what's right, what's wrong, and who's gaslighting you and who is not, right? And I don't mean just gaslighting you from love perspective. I mean like gaslighting you from any perspective, right? So it's like that you could be in energies where you ain't like loved or none of that, right? But you also know that there's an energy that is present that cherishes you. Hmm. Behind some sort of contractual spirit. Like this is a contract that they signed for in the ethers, throughout the ethers, the universe, the galaxy, the multiverse, okay? And you may be remembering this contract. There's a lot of people that didn't want you to, though. Tell me something from here. What is this? Yeah, your financial freedom. Told you, people didn't want you to remember that. hmm So you're gaining control over your finances, your life. You're living comfortably, okay, without constant worry. And this was part of your contractual agreement. You also have energies that they cherish the fact that it's something about, I don't know, I feel you're very inspirational, okay, to a lot of people because you're not just talking the talk or something like that. Yeah, you ain't just talking the talk, you walking it, okay? And people know you walking it. They know. For the ones that need to know, they know. They know where you were, where you been, all that, and they are seeing you rebuild. And this is giving me the energy of, it was only a matter of time before you stepped into your financial freedom. But you had a lot of people at the bottom of the deck with these black gloves, okay? They didn't want to leave the evidence, okay? They had a lot of criminal intent in the energy. Yeah, in the shadow. I said that earlier. Yes. There was no proof, but your intuition knew it, okay? There were a lot of people that were in denial until the end type energy. And they wanted to act innocent, but you could pick up on that. hmm No matter how they tried to hide their hand, this is what I'm hearing. Yeah. You could be this unseen hero type energy or have an unseen hero in your energy. I feel like y'all were a team working together. hmm Quiet source of support for others, a support on the sidelines, supportive without acknowledgement type energy. You've definitely had that when it came to these folks trying to keep their hands like they weren't in it, but you felt it, you knew it. hmm Also, family, but Spirit just told me that's going to be in another message, okay? Um, Let me see if I even wrote it down because I think I did. Because I was like, why would I try my cat? Let me see. Hmm, maybe I didn't. But basically, it was tapped in. The message that I received, it had a lot to do with like you being able to sense like a whole conversation between you and another energy, but somewhat of like supportive guidance type energy. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know exactly how to say that, Spirit. I don't want to say you were taught. Well, shoot, everybody, when you connected, you do talk, and you ain't talking to yourself. You're talking to the Most High God, your ancestors, angels, and your spiritual team. But yeah, this is the energy caldera. Mm. This energy here has unlimited potential. There's something pertaining to like, yes, a volcano exploding. It's like that is what it was. Like, because you knew that there were hands trying to be hidden. Yeah. Spiritual revolution. I can't make it up. Go on, spirit. Thank you. Significant transformation in beliefs. Yes. Unions or consciousness on a individual or societal level. So you could have been the very awakening for many energies out here, fam. And I feel like it started with you first. There are people over here that are stressed, feeling anxious and ashamed and remorseful, possibly because of this, great divide, this cultural clash. Somebody not recognizing who you were. Yeah. The shame behind they trying to hide their hand, knowing and play innocent, knowing they had all kind of stuff to do with that. Yeah. People were tired. They were burned out on the same old thing. Somebody here knows that you are abundant internally and externally as well, as above, so below. And there was a lot of cultural clashes here. Differences in backgrounds are causing misunderstandings and differing values or lifestyles, and that too had a lot to do with someone or many's financial impact. But I feel, or financial freedom, but I also and impact, right? But I feel like you've always been abundant, so it really didn't. It's like you are. That's why there's an unlimited amount of resources for you, family, when it comes from the divine. I promise you, God has no limit, no limit, and no limits. And people were just tired of this ongoing toxicity of folks having their hands in shit, trying to act like they don't. Yes, you do. Because there's no damn way in hell where you work, contribute, give, and then you just looking around like, well, what the fuck is going on? Type energy. Okay, those folks, they knew they had a hand in it. That they're going through the burnout blues right now, the toll of restlessness, and I feel like this is relentless as well. The toll of relentless work. Okay, they were so relentless when it came up to stressing you the hell out, they burnt themselves out. Type energy. The toll of relentless work and stress, yeah, it will take an effect on somebody. Especially when they were just working so hard to just paint the worst narrative ever. Okay? It has their asses exhausted by trying too much and too hard. Doing too much and too hard. And the energies I keep picking up on, it's just like, I'm good. Because, when I offered that olive branch, it wasn't there. So it's not like I'm upset with you. It's just that I'm moving on from you. Because there are other things out there that I can definitely, accept. And it's true divine guided love. Period. And where they had cultures clashing, they mad at this shit because they ain't about to be clashing no more. Look, I can see acknowledgement or accepting something, okay, that is reluctantly willing to let go of one's stance or accept a situation that cannot be changed. They got to concede to that. Yes, that's where the plot twist came in. Okay, that's where the plot twist came in. I promise you, these folks, they was out here. They was out here with this old fake fake applause for somebody who is socially climbing the ladder, and it's tied to your DNA and your identity. And you could be half alien, half human. Take it how you want it to resonate. Okay, but they wanted you to be in the sunken place. Oh, that is the movie. Oh, there it is, Spirit. Wait, y'all, you have got to see My Father. Wait. Hold up. I think I mentioned it, right? But you were gonna resonate with the movie. I did. I posted it. I sure did. I posted it within the post. You got to see it's the father. Oh my goodness. It is totally hilarious, y'all, because from beginning to end, I was cracking up because wait for it. Spirituality is all up in there from the beginning to the end. Okay. And I just started rolling because I was like, wow. You Yes, it is on point. Okay, the movie is very good. All right. Okay, back to the message. Okay, family. So that's what folks just know they got to concede to. Okay, because the plot twisted. All right, unexpected or surprise change in events. Okay, this is a shift in direction, something unfolding surprisingly. They got to concede to that. Because first off, they were being taught wrong anyway. Okay, folks wanted people in a sunken place. Okay, because that movie. Wait, what did she say at the very beginning? She was like, "Yeah, I want to invite you out to my family's house, but I don't want this to be the Italian sunken place." Or wait, the Italian Get Out. Yeah. I started rolling. Y'all listen. You gotta go watch that movie. Let me. Oh shit, I can't look there. Hold up. It's on the post. Okay, and it's with Oh, he gon' I probably messed that up. Here, hold on. Let me go get it. What am I thinking about? What? Yeah. Quit playing. Hold on. Oh, my father or something like that. Let me see. It just now came out. Let me see. Is this it? My father, the movie. Hold on, y'all. Cause I got some things set up where. Yes. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Is this it? Yes. It's called About My Father. You got to go see that, okay? I do believe it's on, I think it's on Netflix, but nevertheless, from beginning to end, you're going to be cracking up because that's what these families be going through, okay? But it is hilarious. But yes, they wanted you to be in this sunken place, okay? They wanted you to have these blockages, these defenses pertaining to people, everyone, right? And some of the energies, they prove themselves to be true, but the ones that prove themselves to be true, they're the ones that were guilty as hell of painting a narrative that wasn't true. I'm telling you, they painted a narrative that wasn't true. I feel like, the sense of dread or anxiety or some sort of worrisome realization was the fact that everybody is painted some sort of way by somebody so that somebody can keep their status up. People guilty as hell behind that kind of an energy. I feel like the identity crisis was not about masculine feminine energy and this that and the third. The identity crisis was that yes, you are here having a human experience, and when you say that to yourself, then if you're here on planet earth having a human experience, then where else are you from? That was the big thing too. They didn't want you to know where you were from. You are vibrating at such a high frequency that you actually are able to possibly even tap into other life forms. And I don't care what nobody say. There is no damn way that we the only thing throughout this damn universe. And then wait, it goes into the multiverse. 64.2 quadrillion light years away. Okay? Quit playing. So I feel like, they know their guilt. They know their guilt because there are the ones who did definitely. They did, family. This is what I really feel. I feel like there were people that they went on and they sold. And when I say sold themselves to the devil, they took that, status quo of fame, fortune, riches, and all of that, right? But in the end, it was an automatic. As soon as the truth comes out, y'all will start to be exposed. They are being exposed in major kinds of ways. Cause look, I'll be on here looking like, wait a minute, hold that. You are right. Somebody's hands ain't looking right. These stars' hands is changing, looking extra big and shit. I'm like, family. I'm like, I feel like you really embrace the human experience here. That is why it is shifting. That's why this plot has twisted. Because see, they wanted to keep it to where they were ciphering off of you and what you really became in alignment with, and that was your assignment. That's why they got that word humanitarian. You are all the way a humanitarian. But you also are someone that embraces all life forms. Phew. That's because your DNA is also from other life forms. People know your DNA is, look, they say suspicious here, feel suspicious about person's past or actions, need evidence to soothe their emotions. So they looking into your DNA to soothe their damn emotions. They so damn tired. You know, it's like shit. What you want to sue somebody your emotions behind my DNA for? Sue your emotions behind your DNA type energy, right? Because yeah, look, that's why. Because you're climbing a social ladder here. Okay. And these people are so pissed off because I am getting that energy. This is that jealousy. You know, anytime somebody's giving you a fake applause for you, you know, being successful in something that you're doing, this is already jealousy. Reeks of it. Okay. Reeks of it. They want to know what's so special about you, right? Someone who's insincere or forced expressions of approval or appreciation, fake compliments and superficial support. That's what I'm saying, you know, because they have worn themselves out trying to find out what was so special about you. They keep sitting here, you know, with this energy of jealousy, envy, insecure, in what it is that they're doing. I'm picking up on energies that, you know, they know good and dang gone well they had to sacrifice themselves in order to get to where they were. Whereas you just, you know, went within and asked the most divine God, the divine creator of all living things, your angels, ancestors, and spiritual team to assist you in your journey because you did not want to go about things the way that others went about it, trying to have their hands dirty, trying to hide it, okay, doing things to the innocent. You know, you didn't want to live in a life full of guilt. Okay, so you got people out here right now, family, that they see that you could possibly be socially climbing a ladder here. Okay, you are prioritizing relationships based on, you know, social advantage. Some of those people did, but I don't feel like you could be doing that. But there are a lot of people out here, family, that do that. Okay, it's sad too, because it's like, dang, why would you do that? It's not even about all that. You know, a lot of people don't, you know, oof, it's sad. So you do, there's a social climber, but you prioritize your relationships, and I feel like it's based not on social advantage, but just on experiences. It's like, you know, it's kind of like maybe it could even be therapeutic to you. It's definitely a confirmation and a validation that you just can't be the only person in this world that feels these energies and feels like that, you know, type energy. But a lot of people, they were doing it for other reasons: money, fame, power, you know, the perfect so-called mate. But all them stars be getting married 100 different times. I'll be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You know, people could have been, you know, wanting that energy of name dropping and, you know, needs to impress and wants power, but I don't feel that was you. I feel like, you know, you're just totally the opposite of that. You don't really care for all that. If it is there, it's there, and it's not something you actually have to know about. Even though you can feel it, that's what keeps you humble, because you like, okay, but that still doesn't resolve what's going on in the rest of the world. So a lot of people don't like that energy about you, that you can be this rich, this abundant energy and still be compassionate enough to think about others and hold on to your earthly plane side, but also still be intact and in touch with your galactic energy, your galactic being and presence. hmm A lot of people be crossing the line at the bottom of the day. Okay, they be pushing boundaries, taking things a little too far. Okay, and doing it in your face. and then got the nerve to throw attitude and inappropriate remarks your way, and you looking like, for real? That's what we're doing? Yeah. That's why they gonna have to concede to the plot twist, whether they like it or not. I feel like a lot of people are definitely over here feeling it again, feeling these real connections and affections and sparks flying, okay? For real. Because it's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word now. Okay? Take it how it resonates, family, okay? Exactly, because folks know they were under social pressure. That's why love is now blooming and blossoming, because you know what I'm saying. That social pressure had these people like at odds. I'm not gonna be able. And man, they whole love is on the other side. Quit playing. And I don't mean on the other side of the globe. Just on the other side, the side everybody had their hands up about, the side everyone was misunderstanding. Okay, a lot of people were under this social pressure when it came to these cultural clashes. Outside opinions are affecting your decisions, feeling obligated to others, feeling judged and observed. That's what they want. That's what they had wanted. But I feel like this love here that I'm picking up on, y'all so strong, it ain't even going to be funny. They going to know what it is. A lot of people are going to long for what you have. This romance that is going to deepen and flourish over time, it turns into something that is very beautiful, and it's actually unfolding right now, and it's a nourishing energy, and it's within the right conditions for you to thrive. A lot of people, they feel guilty behind trying to stop what God wanted. Yes. That's why they're experiencing this long goodbye that just flipped out over here. This long goodbye, the connection that is slowly fading, okay, without any confrontation. Yeah. A connection slowly fading without any confrontation, like a candle slowly burning instead of blowing it out. And what is that is fading? Look what came flying out. The toxic cycle. The repetitive negative patterns that people were definitely placing in your life, in your relationships, situationships, circumstances, okay? Making it very difficult for you to break the chains. Well, yeah, there's a long goodbye to that. The long goodbye. Yep, because you've been promoted. Yeah, folks done crossed the line, so you done been promoted. You stepped into your actual career, your actual calling, who you are supposed to be. Or your personal life. You've stepped into your career or your personal life. And it brings in, abundance, growth, recognition, and achievement. Because these people overstep boundaries. Yep. A slate relationship, that's addressing that black glove, okay? Take things for granted. I feel like, they, wanting to have people feel trapped in monotonous connections. You knew you needed to add some spark back into your life and your connections, and you knew what was going on behind the scenes as well, pertaining to these people acting like they didn't have their hands in shit, and they've always had their hands in shit. Karmic rewards, I feel like, yes, there's an unseen hero here bringing in some sort of good things. Good things are coming your way. For your past kindness, blessings, positive experiences are here. It's about time, family. Because for as long as you can remember, you've been dealing with a lot. And I feel like there's a lot of energies that they feel so shameful right now. Then you have those that don't. So be discerning. Be discerning. Clarify this guilt. This guilt has somebody on an emotional roller coaster ride and they were isolated, or they may now feel isolated in the crowds that they're in. They definitely wanted you to feel that. I feel like you are now, like I'm good. You don't even like being around a lot of people anyway type energy. But they don't know how to handle that because they are always used to being like the one that everybody, the attention seeker. This was the attention seeker, and they're guilty now because, yeah, they're feeling disconnected despite being around the people that, they were with. I feel like that's because a lot of truths have come out behind them, and they're ashamed now. Now they feel alone. They feel like their voice is now being lost or suppressed. Yeah, because don't nobody want to hear that weird stuff. Now they're going through this roller coaster ride that they had you on, an emotional one. And I feel like, family, that's what really brought you out of that, is because, and it could have been through a rally. Okay. But that's what really brought you out of that, was because you already knew that everything here was a projection of somebody else's failure. In a situation of relationships full of highs and lows and intense and rapidly changing emotions and unsteady, you had to tap into your clarity. You already know that confusion is not something that the divine creator of all living things, your angels, ancestors, and spiritual teams operate in. That's a low vibrational energy. You don't operate in confusion, so therefore you go to the Most High for clarity. Yeah, the Most High says, look, they pissed off because you ain't in this sunken place. These are energies out here that I feel like, the fact that they are not natural, in some sort of performance or area in their life, okay, unable to engage in sexual relationships despite wanting to, okay, leading to feelings of frustration, anger, or resentment towards society or women. That's exactly who you've been dealing with. And don't think there ain't a lot of them out there. Shit, they wasn't selling Viagra for nothing. And you may be somebody that you could definitely, get to that level of a physical connection and attraction naturally. And it's because you have that gene. You have the gene of the human energy as well as other galactic energy. It's like a switch turning it on and off, but they were trying to make it seem like it was an identity crisis, and no, that's why you never belonged, because you were too balanced. I can't make it up. You was too balanced. You were balanced in masculine and feminine energy, and also you are tapped into human energy as well as other energy. And yearning for the past, that was you yearning for what's real in the connection. That's why you're able to tap into masculine and feminine energy, because you already know what real divine soulmate partnership love feels like. Yearning for the past, preventing growth, that's what they wanted you to do. You're remembering the good memories and dismissing the bad. Message at 32:23. Okay, yeah. Last message at the bottom of the deck. Hey, beautiful. Okay. Private DMs. Okay. It says, yes, keeping from the public, secrets, down low behavior, shameful, unwilling to make it public. Like, there is that energy. That's that hero over here. That's that unseen hero over here. Because they're still going through that social pressure kind of energy. All right, family. So I'm going to leave that message here. Okay. I feel like they are definitely trying to clean some things up. Trying to, wrap and tie things up. especially with the underworld. I feel okay. The underworld is over here really pissed off. I keep picking that energy up too, family. Okay, so yeah. And at the bottom of the deck, yeah, because the sunset is here. Okay, there is gratitude, happiness, and contentment, and somebody is stressing that. Okay, and expressing that. hmm And there is this energy of where you still got folks out here that oof, they'll get it together, family. Okay, they're gonna get it together. All right. So let's get ready to close out. I love you, and the divine loves you. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful. Okay, I release the weight of the matrix, deception, and betrayal. I stand rooted in my truth. I call back my power, my light, and my peace. I am whole, I am becoming, and so it is. Ashe. And until next time, you have a magnificent day. Ashe.